It's Still Alive back with another one. And for all y'all who have watched my streams before, you know Michael Jordan, that's my GOAT. Kobe is my all-time favorite player. He's my number two, but Michael Jordan is still my GOAT. But I seen this video and I don't quite understand but off the title, I have not watched any of it. But off the title, I don't get it because unless there's some weird shit going on, but we're about to find out, man. Let me know what y'all think below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if y'all think MJ's the GOAT or who is your GOAT.
I thought Michael Jordan was Jesus Christ, like playing to be Michael Jordan. I swear to God, dog.
I don't know what God looks like. It's like seeing God.
See, why is this weird? They realize he's the best player to ever lace up the shoes. It's clear as day.
It wasn't Michael Jordan out there. It was God disguised as Michael Jordan.
I'm so sorry, Black Jesus. I'm so sorry.
The dude looked like Jesus Christ to me.
This Michael Jordan glaze has always been disgusting to me. The main reason is because they are comparing this man to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. They even be out here calling this man a god. The whole reason they glaze him so hard is because, well, he's good at basketball. But today I bring a stop to all this guzzling these NBA legends are doing. These old heads are always talking about Jordan like the Grim Reaper. Oh, when I saw Michael Jordan, it was like seeing Jesus as a bald black man. Anytime I laced up against Jordan, I was shivering in my boots. I think I even beat myself a little bit. It's one thing to call somebody good, and it's another thing to just be like, lose all type of competitiveness. Like, where's your pride at? Stand up, man. So that's what we're gonna be calling out today. Not just the absolute Michael Jordan glaze epidemic that has been happening for years, but also exposing how all this meat riding can actually be somewhat dangerous. Let's start with this clip of JJ Redick and Shaq.
Oh, I have a question.
Yeah.
I got a question. And I'm sure you've talked about this before. This is for my own curiosity. The aura of MJ.
Alfred, JJ Redick, you were about 50 years old, got 3 kids and another on the way, and you are talking about the aura of Michael Jordan. This is just
When you stepped on the court with MJ, he's asking Shaq. Shaq played with him, against him. He's asking what it was like.
nasty.
He's at the peak of MJ. What is it like just being on the floor with him, man?
I don't know what God looks like. It's like seeing God.
Really?
Yeah.
Mind you, ladies and gentlemen, he asked Shaq what it's like being on the court with Michael Jordan, and he's calling this man God.
The stuff that he did on TV, and then you see it in real life, it's like, oh my God, it's really real. Like one of the first plays of the game, and in my mind, I was like, I'm not getting dunked on. So I tried to meet him early. Slid by me, I bumped him, and he still did that, and he laid it up off and the crowd went crazy.
Brother, you just described DeMar DeRozan. This ain't nothing special, but I'm telling you right now, Shaq is not
Comparing DeMar DeRozan as great of a player, DeMar's probably one of the best mid-range assassins we've ever seen play the game of basketball. But comparing DeMar DeRozan to Michael Jordan, you clearly don't know shit about. Yes, maybe they shouldn't refer him to God, but they're given the respect. He's the basketball god. That's what they're saying. He literally is the best to ever play. And the fact that you're sitting here trying to put these people down for giving the man his respect is weird.
not the only one to have one first encounter with MJ and absolutely glaze him to all hell. Like, for example, let's look at what Isaiah Thomas had to say when he saw MJ for the first time.
You know, in Phoenix, it was hot in the summer, and you know, you watch guys dunking and everything, but he had a different kind of bounce, you know, jumping and dunking, and I was like, okay, all right, that's kind of nice, And then the game started, and this dude was so fast and so quick, he was like, wait.
Now, we got to remember, folks, Isaiah Thomas hated Michael Jordan. We all remember when Isaiah Thomas would not shake that man's hand during the playoffs. So the fact that he was glazing this hard is insanity. But what's even crazier is that it's not just Michael Jordan's.
It's not glazing. He hated Michael Jordan, yes, when they were playing against each other. And I'm sure even to this day, they probably hate each other. I know Michael still hates Isaiah, but doesn't mean you can't give him his props. Like he said, he was watching him on this, like during warm-ups or whatever, and he was like, "Oh, okay, that's nice. I never seen nobody jump like that." But then he got in the game, and it's like, "Hold on, why you so quick?" Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not glazing, it's just being truthful and real.
Enemies that are glazing, but his teammates are glazing 20 times harder. Now, I will say for this next clip, viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, Meta, play Gorgeous.
This dude's a pure hater. Pure hater.
Wait, if you were locked.
Man, I live in the country and I get allergies like a motherfucker out here this time of year.
It may be coming in 20.
I had a poster of Michael Jordan on my wall. So when I would go to the game, I would actually rub the poster.
Okay, that's weird.
Sometimes twice if I wanted to have a really
That's weird. I'll say that. That's weird.
Good game. And I'd go out and score 30, 40. And so I always attributed touching MJ's poster brought me luck. So then, how ironic I get drafted by the Bulls.
Off rip, I already see where this story is going.
Oh, he was doing that when he was...
This grown man was rubbing down a poster of Michael Jordan.
No, he was doing that when he was a kid. He said then he got drafted, so he was doing that in high school and college. It's still weird, but he was doing that as a kid and a fan of MJ, not while he was on the team.
And before the games. And for whatever reason, they let this sicko in the same locker room as the real Michael Jordan.
So my first game come in, I felt like I didn't need the poster anymore because I got Michael Jordan next to me now. I remember going out getting ready to go shoot. Michael was had his shirt off. He's had his North Carolina shorts on, so he's in the middle of getting dressed, which is kind of awkward if you think about this story I'm going to tell you. I start to walk out, and I go, wait, you know what? I used to touch his poster. I think I'm going to touch him.
Do you know how delusional and disturbed you have to be in the head to think you can rub on a poster of somebody and say, you know what? Let me go ahead and go rub on the real thing.
Yeah, that's weird.
Pause.
So I walk over to MJ. He's, his shirt's off. He's got his back turned to me. He's in his North Carolina shorts. He's getting dressed. And I walk over and I rub him twice. Now that I look back on it, it was kind of awkward.
Definitely.
So he looks at me. He's like, "What are you doing?" He said, "Oh man, I used to touch your poster when I was in college. Man, it used to bring me luck." He said, "Man, get away from me, dude. Don't be doing that." I'm like, and I didn't think it was weird at the time, but then I looked back and I said, "Oh yeah,
weird
that
as
might have been
fuck.
a little bit crossing the line."
Just look at this man's face. He enjoyed every
That's
single
weird.
second of it. And apparently
I'll
it
give
didn't
you
matter
a-
if you were Mike's enemy or his teammate.
I'll give you that one. That's a valid one. Valid point of the video. Weird as fuck.
The T-Mac, if you were just around him, he just had that much aura.
I got an opportunity to go in the back by the locker room after the game. So I'm standing back there. I'm 17 years old, kid. I've never been around NBA players like this, or even, I've never been around somebody like MJ. So I'm standing back there, kid, and Pip comes out. All these players start coming out. Mike comes around that corner. Bruh, I ain't gonna lie to you. The man had a glow, bro.
This brother is cheesing extra hard. Look at how
He's just saying that when Mike walked in the building, like the whole building focused on Mike. At that point in time in his career, he was it. You know what I mean? So like when he walked in the building, all eyes were on Mike.
every one of these men is cheesing hard, thinking about the energy that Michael Jordan gives off. I have never seen nothing like this in my life. Let's see what Paul Pierce had to say about going against Wizards Michaal Jordan.
I had a chance to play against Michael Jordan, but it was when he had the Wizards uniform on, so it wasn't quite prime Michael Jordan. It was 40-year-old Michael Jordan. I remember he still was a phenomenal athlete. He still had great footwork, and he actually gave me about 30 points.
Jordan over Pierce. He's got it. Michael Jordan equals the season.
So how is what he said a bad thing? He's just being real, being honest.
31.
It was like my third year in the league, and he was still probably one of the top 10 athletes in the game at the time.
I have never seen somebody look so happy talking about getting dogged in a basketball game. Brother doing a whole story talking about how he got 30 dropped on him, and he's just cheesing. And honestly, the glaze got so bad that it made me genuinely question the competitive nature of the 90s and 2000s.
You're
Like,
ridiculous.
just listen to Steve Nash for a
They
second.
hated
What
each other
happened
back
was,
then.
I got switched on to him. You know, he backed me down to the post, did his little, you know, shake and hit a fadeaway on me. We go down the other end, someone gets fouled shooting a free throw. So I'm standing there.
These are
point
people
guard
talking
behind the
about it
shooter,
years and
he
years
comes over to
later.
me and he says, "You were at a slight disadvantage." And, you know, as a rookie, it was like that moment where I was like, holy shit. Like, I'm talking, and MJ just scored on me. He's letting me have it in a fun way. This is unbelievable.
Letting me have it in a fun way. This can't get any worse for you, Steve.
He was a rookie, so like he was just out there trying to have fun. He's talking about 20 years ago, 30 years ago, whenever this was. Like, he was a rookie. He was pretty much a kid, and he was playing with the greatest to ever play. And Michael was like giving him shit after he scored on him. And as a rookie, like all you could do is just laugh and be like, damn, he's right. Like, I don't understand what this hate is.
What are you talking about? No, but in all seriousness, man, I guess fanboy and mid-game tier guy that you look up to for a while, it's nothing too crazy, but it's like, where's the competitive spirit, man?
So he tells me, "You were at a slight disadvantage." And I turn, I laugh, and then I go, "Can I have your shoes after the game?"
And then you
Okay,
ask
that's
him
weird.
for
Don't
his
ask for the
shoes after
shoes.
the game. Now listen, Steve Nash, one of the greatest point guards of all time. What are we doing? What?
Yeah, ask him for the shoes. See, that I don't understand. Stuff like that, or the touching part, valid. That was weird. Or the asking for the shoes in the middle of the game, valid. That's weird. But the other stuff, I don't think is weird.
Each for just $30 a month. And
What are we doing? Where is the competitive nature?
I took Jordan.
You took Jordan?
I'm never going against Jordan, dog. I've never seen. I thought Michael Jordan was Jesus Christ, like playing to be Michael Jordan. I swear to God, dog.
We called him Black Jesus for a reason. I played against him a long time.
They hated each other back then. You're acting like them talking about it now means there was no competitiveness back then. They fucking hated Michael Jordan back then, but it doesn't mean that they can't give him his respect.
And he just did it. You know, he had all that. He just had the mentality to win. And if it gets close, he gonna take the shot.
I'm genuinely questioning, like, where is y'all manhood? Where's your spines? And it's one thing to be like appreciative of the game and appreciating somebody that is great.
That's literally all he did right there. Do you not remember how hard Gary Payton played? See, the fact that you probably never even watched Gary Payton play against Jordan just shows that you have no idea how much they hated each other back in the day. Just because he's given him his respect 20 years later doesn't mean shit.
At basketball, there is nothing wrong with that, boys. But I don't know, it's something about saying we called him Black Jesus for a reason, and he just did the thing, man. He just did what he wanted, man. Brother, you're making me start to think that you weren't that good at all.
We're playing this exhibition game, and Michael's going through the motion. And Chuck Person, who's on my team, who's a trash talker as well, is like, "Can you believe Michael Jordan, the guy everyone's talking about, who's supposed to be able to walk on water? You're out here killing him, Reg." This is in the first half. He's like, "You should be talking to him." He's like, "You know, you're right. Michael, who do you think you are? The great Michael Jordan? That's right. There's a new kid on town, right?"
And you know what? I like this out of you, Reggie. Now, I already know this story is about to get diabolical for you, but at least you're showing me you got some type of backbone, man.
So at half, I have 10, and he has 4 points, right? I'm doing all this talking. He's like, "Okay." Into the game in the second half, he ended up with 44, and I ended up with 12. So he outscored me 40-2.
That's hilarious.
And as he's walking off, he's like, "Sure, and be careful. You never talk to Black Jesus like that."
So you telling me he was out here just calling himself Jesus, gang? There is absolutely no way y'all let him get off with this. And you know what? Shout out to Bill Laimbeer. Y'all was so dookie, y'all let him walk around with this big old...
He wasn't the fact that he actually considered himself Jesus or God in like life form, but of the game of basketball, he was the God. he was the Jesus of basketball. Like, not in real life. Nobody is considering Michael Jordan a god figure in real life. But in the game of basketball, in the way he played and how he just destroyed people, and the way, like, just him being on the court would literally, like, just mesmerize you. That's why they called him God. He was, you know what I mean? He was literally the GOAT. He's the GOAT for a reason.
Ego, Bill Laimbeer had to set him down for a few seasons.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Black Jesus. I'm so sorry.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe I was wrong about you, Reggie. Maybe, I don't know, bro. It's just, this is bad. This is just bad. You bowing down to a man is crazy work, bro.
So like, I tell you, like when I was in high school, and I used to work out with the 76ers. I used to ask him, what's it like to guard Mike? You go, Mike? You mean Black Jesus? I'm like, what the fuck? Black who? Oh, we call him Black Jesus. Or you can call him Black Cat. I'm like, I'm gonna call him fucking Mike. That's his fucking name.
Kobe is the only one that has given any reasonable answer. And you know what's crazy?
And yeah, and that's why Kobe's my favorite player. But I don't see, Kobe also was like a little brother to Mike. Not at that point yet, but like, and Kobe literally worshiped Mike. Like, he mimicked his entire game after Michael Jordan.
Is Kobe's the best player out of everyone that we've seen being interviewed? Because he's actually a competitor, actually trying to get down with the get down. Now, don't get it twisted. He still appreciates one of the greatest players to ever play the game of basketball. But he isn't out here throwing away his manhood just to glaze another grown man.
I think you're making way too much out of this dumb shit.
And when I was 18, my first year, he got the best of me a bunch of times. I was right there the next play. You're not intimidating me. Yeah. I'm not going anywhere. And I think he saw that level of respect, because I think he was the same way at 18 years old. And that common bond is what I think, where our connection was built.
That's how I think you need to be talking about other players. Not calling them God, not calling them Jesus, but saying this guy was a real competitor and I made sure to get back at him. That's what I can appreciate about this. Shout out to the Mamba.
Yeah.
Now I want to remind folks that this is no disrespect to Michael Jordan. Still one of the greatest players to play in NBA history, but I really wanted to have a conversation about.
He said he's freaking nuts. There was a few valid points in here, a few, but most of it is just hate and hate. You obviously don't think Michael's the GOAT, you know what I mean? So,
Are you falling to Black chick?
Idolization. And this not only goes for the players that we saw today, but also for fandom. Some of y'all be treating these players as if they are above men. And this is why I'm getting on these NBA players for calling Michael Jordan Jesus or God. Do you know how crazy you sound? To really put that in perspective, Jesus was out here putting on miracles for people.
They're not comparing him actually to Jesus. They're just talking about the game of basketball. That's where you're blowing this out of proportion. They're not saying that he's actually godlike or Jesus-like in real life. They're saying on the basketball court, Michael Jordan could do things that nobody else could do, just like Jesus could do things in real life that nobody else could do. It's not that hard to understand.
Healing people. Michael Jordan was a gambling addict. This man will sell your life for 35 cents.
They're not talking about him outside of basketball. When they say he's Black Jesus, they're talking about on the basketball court. He does things that look like they shouldn't be able to be done. They look like miracles when he does them almost. Like, how the fuck did he do that? Just like Jesus was doing outside in life, you know what I mean? Because he was actually doing miracles and shit. That's the difference. They're not talking about Michael Jordan as a person outside of basketball when they call him Black Jesus. They're not. They're talking about on the court.
And you can't have inspirations or look up to people, but please be very mindful of who and what you idolize. Just look at the story of Chamillionaire, a young kid that finally made it and finally got the chance to meet Michael Jordan.
I saw Michael Jordan. I'm at a party, and I don't ask nobody for nothing. I never do. I don't like when people overly do it to me. I had saw Michael Jordan taking pictures with girls. He was like, and I ain't mad at it. He's taking pictures with people, you know what I'm saying? And he's taking pictures, and he's just, every now and then taking pictures, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, man, this is just that one moment where I'm going to say, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go say, I'm going to ask Mike for a picture. And then I said, I went over there and I said, hey, fellas, nobody was talking. They was just chilling, whatever, right? And I was just like, man, I don't mean to be rude, but Mike, I just want to know if I could get a picture. And then, now I understand, I kind of expected him to say no. So I wasn't mad if he said no, but the way he said it, he said, oh, hell nah, man, I ain't taking no pictures of no niggas. And he said it like that, and I was like, I kind of got stunned for a second, because I was like, wait a second, I don't think he heard. I turned back, and my boys were just looking at me like, damn. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of thought that he didn't hear what I said, and I was like, keep in mind, I had just came from a Reggie Bush event. Everybody knows about the Michael Jordan jersey, right? Me and Reggie Bush was doing this event, right? And he was auctioning off these jerseys. So I had to keep on raising my hand and bidding for these jerseys, right? And it was a Michael Jordan jersey, an Allen Iverson autograph, the Shaq, a Vince Carter. There was a whole bunch of jerseys, right? And I kept raising my hand. It was like 1,000. I raised my hand. They said 2,000, and some dude raised his hand. And they said 3,000. I raised my hand. They said 4,000. We kept going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, whatever, right? I'm telling Michael the story. I'm like, I just bid $7,000 for a Michael Jordan jersey. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then he goes, you know what? I'll tell you what. You pay $15,000 right now for a jersey from me, and I'll take a picture with you. And keep in mind, Michael Jordan's real tall. He's looking down on me, and I'm looking up at him like, man, I've never been so heated in my life, man. My heart just started racing like, I'm about to steal off on this fool. And I thought about all the times when I used to pause the little video game or the
Yeah, I think Mike got to that point though because of how famous he was. Like, you guys got to remember though, like when Michael was in the league, he couldn't go nowhere. Like when he would go to other countries and shit, just getting off the plane at the airport, there would be thousands and thousands and thousands of people waiting for him for pictures and autographs and just everything. And it was like this for so long. Even as big as LeBron is, it's not the way Michael Jordan was. Yes, people love LeBron, and when he goes places, there's always people. But if you go back and watch the videos, Michael Jordan could not go anywhere. There was always thousands and thousands and thousands of people around him all the time. He had never had no peace. And I'm guessing he got tired of the pictures and autographs all the time, to the point like when he was playing ball, to where like once he was finally done playing ball and all of this, I think he probably just got tired of the fact that people were still asking him for pictures and autographs and shit. I mean, that's part of his job, but at the same time, he's human and people get fed up with shit.
Basketball game and draw the picture of this dude dunking. I thought about all the times when I seen John Starks come baseline and just dunk on them fools. I thought about the time when Allen Iverson crossed him over, and I was like, what? Jordan, how you let Allen Iverson cross you over? Like, big Michael Jordan fan. And it's just the way he did it. And then who was it? Paul Pierce. So one of them was like, yo, hey man, chill out. That's Chameleonaire, man. He was like, I don't give up. And he cursed. He said, I don't give up, nigga. And I was like, and then you know what I did? I just sat there for a second. I just sat there and looked at him, and then I turned to Spike Lee and I said, you know what? I appreciate it, bro. That's all good. And I shook Spike Lee's hand, and they all had that look like, man, you know, that's just how Mike is. You know what I'm saying?
And once again, this ain't even me trying to diss that Michael Jordan, but people hear these stories about how Mike was so great, and they get enamored with this story, this being that these people are creating, when Michael Jordan isn't that great of a person in the first place. So please, ladies and gentlemen,
I can agree with that to a point. Michael was not a great person to be around as a teammate because he wanted to win so bad that he was just mean, but punching teammates and shit like that. But when they call him Black Jesus or God, they're not talking about his lifestyle outside of basketball. They're talking about on the basketball court. That's the difference, man.
Again, I urge you, although a lot of these players are great, do not idolize these people, man, because they could end up very much disappointing you. Anyways, man, I appreciate all the support you guys have been showing me recently.
The last part of that is a valid point. I'll give you that one. Valid point.
Almost at 3,000 subscribers, and that's a blessing within its own. And with all that being said,
man, let me know what y'all think on this one, man. It's going to be still alive. We're checking out, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.